We have a very unique opportunity to hear from probably the person that has influenced every single one of us, whether she's influenced you directly or whether you've talked to this person directly. We are a prodigy of what this woman is about to share today. So I'm very, very grateful and excited to welcome Kim Butler on the call today. Kim, you want to wave to everybody?
Hello. Hey,
Yeah, let's
Eric.
go.
Good to see you.
Good to see
So
you too.
you guys know I call Bob Allen the OG. And when I started calling Bob Allen the OG, he had to ask what the OG meant. So Bob is the original. He's the OG. He's the OG. And Kim is the OG in the vault world. So we got a lot of OGs coming at us today. So I'm excited about this. Let me take just a quick moment and let me introduce Kim. And I don't know if there's really adequate words to describe Kim. Anyone that's been in my shoes, Eric McGuire, you've been in the game for a long time. Kim is at the foundation of all of this. Kim has been in the insurance world and just the personal excellence world as it relates to money and life. I said 40 years. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. She said it's 38, but I think it's probably even years before that, before she started really coming out and sharing what she's sharing. But 40 years in the business. And I'll tell you what, from my personal perspective, it's so funny. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have my vault today. I nearly canceled it twice. And you guys know this, like when I first got going, didn't understand it, right? I didn't understand. In fact, Kim is in the office where I first learned how to do vaults. She's in the office of Patrick Donahoe, who taught me about vaults. And I just didn't understand it. Like I didn't understand it. So I'm so grateful after a decade's worth of experience and use. Like the vault is my foundation. It's my bedrock. It's the economic certainty that I gained from it. And even though I didn't understand it in the beginning, I'm grateful for people that helped me stay committed to a process that is now delivered in spades over a decade. And so today, what I've asked Kim to do is really share her wisdom and her experience after having worked in the business for 40 years, after having worked with thousands of clients, both personally and inside of communities and groups like this one, after having written 12 books. This woman right here has a depth of knowledge. And so today, with that being said, I want to turn the floor over to Kim. We're going to do this to where she's going to take some time and give you kind of a foundation of training and principles. And then we're going to open up for Q&A. Like I want to ask Kim a lot of questions. And so I'm selfishly inviting her into the community so we can ask her questions together. So Kim, take it away, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan and JLo. Appreciate you guys. This is a joy to share. And it truly is a life story. And it's been fun to prepare for it. I don't know if you all use the Colby profile, but I'm a 4492 Colby, which means my definition of research is making it up. And yes, thank you for laughing. Thankfully, I have my husband, Todd Langford, who Ryan knows also very well, as does Eric and some of the other people in your Cashflow Tactics community, who is the kind of person that when you say research, you better come back a couple days later because he's gone to research it. And so I'm so grateful that all of the conceptual aspects of me helping people with their personal finances are backed up numerically and mathematically until the cows come home. I mean, like till 10 decimal places, Todd has backed up all of these concepts. And it's the truth concepts calculators that I know Ryan has used with some of you all. And it doesn't matter whether they're used with you individually or not. What matters is that the truth and its comprehensiveness is there for us. And it just gives us so much credibility to some of these concepts, which are absolutely very numerically proven. But some of the concepts are combining 3 and 4 and 10 different things. And those are harder to prove numerically. But after you've been at it for a while, you start to see what I'm going to call the ripple effects. Ryan mentioned it. It's that vault is the foundation. Literally everything builds off that vault. And because of the presence of that foundation, it's like any foundation, think about it in real estate, right? If you're going to build a 10-story building, you're going to have a different foundation than if you're going to build a 2-story house. And so with the way personal finance works, because we're going to live our lives year by year by year, many of us for a century, like I absolutely believe People are going to be living into their 110s and 120s and 130s here very, very quickly. You have to have that, start it now, utilize it along the way, and then know, K-N-O-W, that it's going to do its job at the end. And there is truly nothing better than whole life insurance for a product placed in a vault, which is all the strategy work that you guys do to make that happen. So I am going to give a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation, and then I am going to beg for questions because it will be so much more fun if we can have an awesome Q&A and really give you all a chance to ask the questions about what is a life with a whole bunch of life insurance policies. So I have currently 110,000 rough numbers of premium. Paid up addition numbers, that extra cash that you've been taught to put in, go up and above that sometimes, right? Like, I'm a human being. I don't make my paid up additions every year either, but I try on an annual basis to get as much of that paid up addition money in as I can. But it's really the premium that does the job. And the 19 policies that you see sitting there in that picture, obviously from a variety of different companies, encompass today $11.2 million of death benefit. And that is on about, I should have added that up, I think that's on about 8 lives. It's me, my husband, kids, and some key people. And we'll get into that as we go. So quick bit of background. Some of you may be aware, I actually did still start working in the personal finance space in 4th grade, because my parents bought me a milk cow and my sister had one as well. And we sold the extra milk. And so as a junior high kid, as a high school kid, I actually had a lot of money. And I sold cows and I bought cows and I saved enough money to put myself through a 4-year private college. But that's all before 1988. When I graduated from college, I became a loan officer and in time a trust officer at a bank. And I saw thousands and thousands of people's personal finances. It was the most amazing education because of all of the wisdom and all of the learnings that I got from that time. So fast forward in 1991, 92 range, I switched gears, got into the life insurance space. And by the way, in my history, I've had every life insurance, securities, financial planner, advisor, license known to man. And I have since gotten rid of them all for the freedom to be able to speak fully. Nevertheless, I bought my very first policy. It was a universal life. Did I say already there's some learnings and some wins, right? You guys talk about wins. There's winnings and learnings. Universal life was a learning. Nevertheless, in 92, I did buy my second policy, which was 250,000 whole life. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was in the business, right? So it seemed appropriate to purchase a life insurance policy. Well, in 1994, this is a real picture. I started picking up speed in every way possible. I was literally on rollerblades, really in front of a camera. An insurance company took this picture and they used it for an advertisement. So kind of fun. In 96 through 98, more whole life. Now, what I want you to notice about these numbers is that the whole life insurance death benefit grows. We forget this sometimes. A $500,000 policy is now a death benefit of $678,000. A 250 is now $335. These are important things. It's also really important to acknowledge that I have term insurance. It has since been canceled, but in that period of 4 years there, I purchased $1 million of term insurance. Some of these were on myself, some on my husband, not super relevant until you get to the kids. This is Robbie on the left, Kaylee on the right. This is at my dad's farm. Robbie's feeding Kaylee an apple, like cutest picture ever. They were 1 and 2. My kids are 1 year and 8 days apart, and I bought their life insurance policies. And at this point, I'm starting to figure out how this whole life really works as a vault, as a foundation, as a place to save as a verb and store savings as a noun. So picking up speed, right? Now we're into O1 and O2, and I've got a key person and a second key person, and I've got whole life policies now, all of them with growing, and more term insurance. And again, in time canceled. But I'll share later about human life value. Ryan mentioned it. I mean, that death benefit is important. He mentioned a couple other things that I want to hone in on. You talk about the wins, so important, so important. One of the books talks about wins. We'll cover that towards the end of our time together today. Quick fun note: if Ryan does rap, Kim does songs. So I started to think about 5 years ago, how do people remember things? And it's music, right? We get a song and it's stuck in our head. So I actually have a song, actually 3 or 4 of them on YouTube about life insurance, about 401k plans, and a song about mortgages. Please don't go listen to them, but isn't that funny that we have that as a desire sometimes to create in a way that's completely opposite of how we spend our normal days? All right, so we've got key people, number 1 and number 2, just elementary people in my life, still work with them. It's one of the things I'm most honored about, is that a lot of the people on our team have been with me for, some of them, 25 and 30 years. And so our company's owning life insurance on these incredibly valuable people has just been one of the strategies. Now, here are some learnings. I bought life insurance on Robbie, again on the left, Kaylee in the middle, that is my dad on the right, also when they were 6 and 7. And in the 08-09 real estate mess, my husband and I have always had a lot of real estate investments. We lost those 2 policies. So I still have the ones that are on the kids when they were 1 and 2, but I don't have the ones when they were 6 and 7. And I'm sad about that. Now, when you lose a policy, if you lose it the right way, meaning you surrender it and it's not a purposeful thing, in other words, you didn't cancel it, you can actually get it back in 5 years. And there were some other policies that I lost during this 08-09 mess that I was able to get back. And I'm very grateful for that, but I couldn't get the kids back. And so it's just one of those things, right, that you learn, and they've gone on and they're buying their own, and that's all beautiful now. I got another real quick story on my dad. In that picture, I want to say he's maybe 75. He's 88, 89 right now and still working. Please take this message home. You know, work is not a 4-letter word. And we can talk about passive cash flow till the cows come home, a very favorite saying of mine since I lived with cows for so many years. Nevertheless, it is so important that we continue to serve. God put us on this earth to serve. And so my dad still goes to Oregon State University 3 days a week and helps the student teachers, because that was his profession, as they navigate that tricky space of out of college and into teaching. I just think it's super cool. Okay, so now we've got 04 all the way to 2013. Notice, I mean, these are just little policies, right? Just add to the vault, add to the vault, add to the vault. Every time your income rises, every time you get another building that's creating a little bit more passive income, awesome. Take some of that passive income and add to the vault. Just keep adding to the vault. Just keep paying the premiums, pay the loans back, borrow against it, pay them back again. I'll talk about some of that in a little bit. Another term insurance policy purchased and now canceled since kids are all out of the house and on their own, et cetera. And then we have our Live Your Life Insurance book. So I wrote this in 2008 and I cannot recommend this enough. Really, it's a maybe hour read. It's super tiny, right? There's an Audibles version as well. It's on Kindle, of course. And it is literally my favorite book of all of the 12 that I have, because it's so succinct and it's so helpful. And I really encourage you, if you learn by reading, grab that book. If you learn by listening, get the Audibles and have a discussion amongst your family and friends as to all the value that's there. It is the bottom line of the information that you want to have. Okay, moving right along, we have now some more policies bought. So stepson, third key person. I wrote Busting the Financial Planning Lies. That was earlier. Then I wrote Busting the Retirement Planning Lies. I don't have that with me. I wrote Busting the Interest Rate Lies. This is about mortgages. I wrote a tome. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this unless you love to read books. This is a tome on busting the life insurance lies, and it's a story. So actually, it's a pretty decent read, and it was really done well with some co-authors, which I'm always, always grateful for. Now we have a stepson and the dog and another key person. So love that. Just keep up layering them in. It's just like the learning that we do every day in our life. We just layer it in. Few more policies. These are all whole life. Real estate investing book, wrote that. Perpetual wealth book, another big tome. Created a workbook, about killed our team to create a workbook. This is 2020. It was before AI existed, at least in the public sphere, right? Made a little legacy card game thing because some people like to learn by getting their hands on, right? Super helpful. Another key person, this is also my sister, Tammy Brannon, who has her own business and helps people figure out their purpose in life, something so, so valuable. And then I wanted to share another book. So I am very excited to shut my screen off here shortly, but so that I don't get confused with too many buttons, I'll do that in a minute. If you are not aware of Saifedean Ammous, Ammous, and his book called Principles of Economics, I highly recommend that book, Principles of Economics by Saifedean Ammous. I was honored to have it signed by him. The note there says, "Thank you for your support and for all of your work with prosperity economics." Made my day. Story for a little bit later. Moving right along, we'll get rid of the PowerPoint here so I can see your faces again. This is Robbie and Kaylee a few years ago. My adult children are rock stars. They each own 3 or 4 policies, one on each case, 1, 3, 1, 4, on their selves, and are purchasing them on their children and just doing wonderful things with whole life and real estate. Like, what else is there, right? Let's see, College Planning Lives book. If you're a parent or a student, super helpful book there. Busting the Budgeting Lies book, super helpful there. Then we had the kids book, Prosperity Patch, Busting My Scarcity Mindset book, which is the newest one. And then my one for next year, I'm already working on. So excited for all of that. Now, I want to give you all a gift, because I think one of the hardest things, so you can grab this QR code, one of the hardest things to picture when we're here today in our 30s and 40s and 50s, and yes, I'm still in my 50s, is that we can't always picture what that life insurance policy is going to do for us in our 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even hundreds. The 7 phases of perpetual wealth, it's phases, right? So you could be 50 years old today and starting them, or you could have started them in your 20s and now you're at phase 3 or 4, are so valuable. And this is a document that will share with you all of the good things that that life insurance policy and your vault is going to do for you in all of your later years. So I encourage you to grab this QR code, and we'll make sure that the community has it. So if you don't happen to get it right this very minute, but I'm going to move my screen. So grab that, and then we'll make sure J-Lo has it so that you guys can have it. And it's got a fun little quote on that page from Ryan too, which you'll enjoy. And then I have one more QR code to share, and I'll stop with the slides. And that is that if you enjoyed today, I would love a Google review. That truly right now is the most valuable thing. Yes, I love it when you purchase Amazon books and leave reviews there too, but we're really working on elevating our community, and those Google reviews are super, super valuable. This is my husband, Todd Langford. This is a picture from a couple of years ago. We were in the snow with family and spending the special time that we know that we can because of the good work that we do in working with our vault and creating the passive income space. And Todd, as I said earlier, is the owner of Truth Concepts and a gifted scholar around the whole life arena.
She supported all of us without us even knowing it. We stand on the backs of Kim Butler. So that would mean a lot to all of us. Thank you, Kim.
You are so welcome.